Sam Darley here, and today I'm bringing you the NFC West preview. The Seattle Seahawks are the prohibitive favorite, in my opinion, to win this division yet again, be a contender. Then you got the Cardinals trying to give one more run with Carson Palmer at quarterback, and then you got the Rams who have untapped potential with a first-year head coach Sean McVay, and San Francisco led by Kyle Shanahan and Brian Hoyer. The start of the Seahawks. The Seahawks are coming off another playoff run that fell short of where they wanted to be. They haven't been to the Super Bowl in a couple of years. Since the whole 2-yard decision, they lost to the Falcons in the wild card round this year, and guys like Richard Sherman on the Legion of Boom, and Earl Thomas, they've had some injury issues. Their beast mode essentially bought out his contract and ended up with the Oakland Raiders, who will end up in Vegas in a few years or so. But the Seattle Seahawks are still, in my opinion, the best team in this division. Hands down, they got the better quarterback. They've got a proven winning head coach. They've got a great defense still. The question is, can they get back to the Super Bowl? And I think they can. I think they're one of the top teams in the league. Russell Wilson's a great quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The question is, can they get the run game going? Can they be what they were with beast mode when they were running it and pounding it? And can they get back to being that physical, dominant team they were when they went to the Super Bowl and won once and lost on the 2-yard line against the Patriots? Can they get back to that physical style of play? Because that's who they are. And I think they kind of got away from that last year. They kind of turned into a pass-happy team. So, to me, the key for them is to get back to being physical. If they could do that, yeah, I think they could be, once again, a contender for the Super Bowl and be a legit championship threat. And then you got the Arizona Cardinals, whose window, I think, is shut. Carson Palmer is in his 30s, mid to late 30s. Larry Fitzgerald is 34. David Johnson is by far the best player right now, outside of Fitzgerald, who could still give you a good solid production, but he's not the Larry Fitzgerald of years and years and years ago. Bruce Arians is a great coach. He'll find innovative ways to create a great offense, and they've got a solid defense. But I think when you look at the roster, they really don't have the kind of roster to go up against some of the best teams in the league and win. I don't think Carson Palmer is going to be. Carson Palmer, like I say, is in his mid to late 30s. They don't really have a future quarterback ready because they didn't draft one, in my opinion. Or at least, in my opinion, one that's going to, put them over the top, put them in a good position in the future, like a Deshaun Watson type player, a guy with potential in the future. But I do think the Cardinals will be probably about a 7 or 8 win team. The question is, can they give it one more run? I think they're capable of giving one more run. I just don't see it happening. I think when your best players are all beyond their prime years, and you kind of had a down season last year, especially at the quarterback position, it kind of raises the question marks of whether it's even possible to regain the championship caliber form that they had a couple of years ago when they went to the NFC title game and lost to Carolina. And in that game, Carson Palmer threw 5 picks. So there's a lot of things going against Arizona. They have an old aging quarterback, an aging receiver. David Johnson's a star young running back in the league. He's going to be really good for years and years to come. The question now is, can they find the future franchise quarterback, which is very tough to do in the NFL? Can they get one more? And can they really do it? Can they get one more run? The pressure's on them to win now. I mean, they don't really have many options going 2-3 years down the road. But that's a team that I think is interesting because they can be good, but they can also be really bad. And as I mentioned earlier, I think the Los Angeles Rams have untapped potential. They got a good young defense, a solid young quarterback who's still got ways to go in his development in Jared Goff, and they're led under Sean McVay after Jeff Fisher was canned. Finally. Now I think they're going to either hit their ceiling and be a playoff contender and really start growing and really start developing, or they're going to be a team that's going to be, again, 7-9, 6-10, but they're going to start a young running back, a good future quarterback. I think Goff is going to be fine. I think this year is very important for him to take a step forward in his progression. If he can do that, I think the Rams definitely have a chance in the West. Well, maybe not so the division, but they'll have a shot to be there at the end for the playoffs. They do have a lot more upside than the San Francisco 49ers, who in this division have the least upside. They have no future quarterback. They're led by Brian Hoyer, who I think is, when the pressure's not on Hoyer, he's a very solid player. He's a solid veteran, good locker room guy, but he's not the face of the franchise. And Kyle Shanahan's got a ways to go to build his team back up since absolutely falling apart at the seams. Let go of Jim Harbaugh and Colin Kaepernick situation. And then, talent-wise, this is not a complete roster. Like I said, they don't have a future quarterback. They don't really have a running back, and they don't really have a few good pieces in defense. But they have probably one of the least talented teams in the league, and like I said, Kyle Shanahan has his work cut out for him. And they're led by a quarterback that could be sporadic at best. He's too inconsistent. There's times when I think Hoyer could be really good, but then he has games that remind you why he was a backup for as long as he has been in the league. So, with that being said, I think the Seahawks are going to take this division again. I think the Rams, if they tap the potential, I think they could be probably 8-8. Maybe take that step forward and go 9-7. But I think they just missed the playoffs. I think the Cardinals' window is shut. I think they'll win 5 or 6 games. Like I said, Carson Palmer is not on either side of Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald. And the 49ers will probably be a 1 to 3 win team. They've got 2 or 3 years, really, maybe more if Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle Shanahan has never been a head coach before. So the pressure is a lot more. The pressure is different. It's tougher. And the pressure is on them to find a future at quarterback. So, but yeah, I think the Seahawks will take this division. And this has been Sam Darley. Thank you for watching.